Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Mosai, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So we got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rekah Korash. Double honors to the apostles and the bishops and elders of Great Millstone who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, ready to accept it or not. And this is his salutation to all the I can pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Outwalk who are listening and learning. If you sisters who are listening and learning, coming at you another lesson in truth, fact, faith, and edification, another day edification. Lord, witness be edifying. And I think I'm going to tie this lesson looking for rest in all the wrong places. Because the scriptures say, North America, Babylon the Great is not our rest. It's not our rest. So we are looking for rest in all the wrong places. Lord, witness be edifying. I got a few clips I'm going to play dealing with how this devil is getting rid of Jake in their Section 8. All this Section 8 HUD, habitat housing, right? All this is going to be done away with. All of it going to be done away with. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians that trust in the so-called white man and his government, his system, they are going to fail you, which Yahweh Shema Shah has showed us numerous times over that you can't trust these devils. The scriptures say in Sirach 12 and 10, never trust thine enemies. What the Lord is showing us, when you trust in the so-called white man and his system, they will fail you. This system will fail you. So let's play this.
Now to a Target 12 Investigators exclusive.
As we previously told you, more than 25,000 Rhode Islanders are waiting to receive Section 8.
Tonight, Target 12 investigator Sarah Gurnelli is looking into what incentives there are for landlords to accept these vouchers.
Chelsea Shannon, Rhode Island Housing is looking to add more landlords to accept Section 8 vouchers, offering up $2,000 in an incentive for new units to be added to the program. Thousands of Rhode Islanders are on the wait list to receive Section 8 housing. But even for the more than 8,000 people with vouchers, it's difficult to find a place to live.
We also issue vouchers to folks that have to turn them in because they can't find a unit.
Like Mercedes Patience, who has been looking for a new apartment for her and her 6 children for some time.
I've been looking for a new place for almost a year and a half now.
And the issue is twofold.
They're having difficulty finding available units anywhere, regardless of price. There are just not a lot of vacant units in the community, and when they do find them, the rents are very high.
Michael DeCaro works at Rhode Island Housing, one of the more than 24 housing authorities in the state that oversees the Section 8 voucher program. Rhode Island Housing has a program in place to incentivize new landlords to accept Section 8 vouchers.
It's $2,000 if they, for their first unit that they lease up, or the first resident they accept, and then it's $500 each additional unit beyond that.
Under the program, current landlords can receive $500 for each new unit in the program.
Well, it's hard to find an apartment no matter who you are, whether you have a voucher or you don't have a voucher. It's difficult to find a vacant unit.
He says oftentimes landlords turn down the thought of the voucher program, but it's guaranteed income. 70% is paid by the federal government, and the remaining 30% of rent is paid by the tenant.
They oftentimes don't want to rent to someone that has a voucher because of some preconceived notion, which is typically not true.
So about 50 landlords have utilized this incentive program since 2020. That's according to Rhode Island Housing.
Now, let's get this next one.
Expected in mailboxes, eviction notices sent out to some families in South Fulton who rely on Section 8 housing vouchers to keep a roof over their heads.
Yeah, they're being told that their apartment complex will no longer accept those federal housing vouchers. This is happening at the Beacon Ridge Apartments, Old National Highway, College Park.
Atlanta News First reporter Adam Murphy live outside that complex tonight. Adam, what are these families going to do?
Well, first off, good evening, guys. I can tell you I spoke with several of the tenants out here, and they told me they believe as many as 60 Section 8 residents received eviction notices, and they were told they had to move out of this property by the 1st of next year. I read some of those eviction notices, and nowhere in those letters does management explain why they made this decision.
Now, 60. And you know these are women, man. Okay? Women on Section 8, man. Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indian, and Haitian women, man. Starting with Judah, Benjamin Levi.
It's not right. They don't care about it.
For more than a decade, most of these ladies...
It takes the so-called white man to terminate your Section 8 for you to realize that it's not right. You heard what she just said? Let's play it again.
It's not right. They don't care about it.
For more...
You just realized they don't care about you? Hey, Michael Jackson been told us that. They don't give a damn about us, man. Okay? The so-called white man don't care about you, man. It tell you that in Ecclesiastes 12 and 10, never trust thine enemy. Nah, this what it takes this for you to realize that the so-called white man don't care about you. And this is most of Jake today, man. It's going to take Jake to lose the benefits that they getting for them to realize that the so-called white man don't care about them, man. And this is Jake at the last moment, at the last minute, want to seek you how about Shema Shah at the last minute.
More than a decade, most of these ladies made Beacon Ridge Apartments their home.
Yeah, I ain't got nowhere to go. But they just don't care.
But now these Section 8 residents are being forced to find another place to live and have not been told why.
How they just gonna put us out like that? They ain't said why we got to move. They ain't did nothing.
Esau don't gotta say nothing, man. Okay, the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. Now look, here's an old bottle that used to be a young bottle. Still got the bonnet on, man.
I ain't did a thing.
Several residents received notices on Monday telling them that regardless of when their lease is up, they are required to surrender the premises to management on or before January 31st of next year, and that failure to do so will result in legal action.
So I'm just really concerned about that and stuff. They hadn't gave us for 60 days to move. How you gonna find a place to move and they getting your best day in January?
So
You see, we in January now. This was last year in December, November, December. So what the day is? The 25th. You see? So they got to the 31st, man. This is the Lord taking away the comfort, man. Going into that again, Isaiah 3 and 1. The Lord is taking away the comfort of Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, man. 2/3. The Lord is taking away the comfort, man. And as it go into 2 Amos 16, when it say, they shall come down upon them that fear the Lord. So how much more for 2/3 that don't fear you? How about Shema Shah? As it say in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17, man. You see, the Lord gonna start the house of his people. He gonna start at his people first. And if the righteous shall scarcely be saved, what shall the sinner and the ungodly appear, man? See, this is not fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, trusting in the so-called white man, that the Lord already told us that they will fail us if we trust in them, man. If we lean upon these devils, we are leaning upon a broken reed that will fall.
Atlanta News First went to the leasing office to find out why there is
Salakia, a broken system that will fall.
Section 8 residents, but they locked the door and never called us to explain.
There's a lot of us out here. They ain't got nowhere to go. And then it's hard to find Section 8.
See? It trusting in the government, man. Trusting in the system, man. What you was doing in your young years? What you were doing?
And the mayor of South Fulton just arrived out here at the complex. He is meeting with some of these Section 8 residents tonight and told me he intends to actually try to talk to management here at the property to better understand why this decision was made. He also told me he plans to pursue legislative options to further protect Section 8 residents in the future from this ever happening again. And I should point out the city of Atlanta just passed a resolution within the last few days which urges property owners receiving financial incentives to accept tenants who pay rent using federal housing vouchers. So it will be interesting to see if the city of South Fulton does the same.
Man, trusting in these devils, you're going to lose, man. So let's play this. As a matter of fact, let's get this one. We'll come back to that.
Investigators exclusive, more than 25,000 Rhode Islanders are on a wait list for Section 8 housing, highlighting the need for financial help amid a housing crisis. But even for people with the vouchers, many still can't find a place to live.
Target 12 consumer investigator Sarah Granelli has more on how people are struggling.
The maximum amount of Section 8 vouchers the state can give out each year is nearly 11,000, but because of soaring rents, we found it's often not enough. The housing crisis in Rhode Island is being felt by thousands of low-income families looking for a home.
I've been looking for a new place for almost a year and a half now.
Mercedes Patience receives financial support through the federal housing program called Section 8. Her landlord is selling the home she and her 6 children live in, which means she will likely have to move. But because of the lack of open apartments, coupled with the soaring cost of rent, Mercedes says she's had no luck finding a new place to live.
For a 4-bedroom, a good $2,000 and up, and my voucher is, every time I find something, it's not enough.
Her friend Latoya Walmsley says she was on Section 8 for years and knows the struggles all too well.
The program is made to help low-income people, and right now it's hurting them.
For someone who qualifies for a Section 8 voucher, they must pay about 30% of their income towards rent. The remaining 70% is covered by the federal government through local public housing authorities. But Latoya argues it's now not enough.
Voucher amounts are not enough to meet up with the current rent rates.
Here's a real-life example. For a 7-person family living in a 4-bedroom apartment like Mercedes, you would pay $725 a month for rent on a $2,000 apartment in Providence. A voucher would cover the rest. But like Mercedes, having a voucher doesn't guarantee you can find a place to live.
They're having difficulty finding available units anywhere, regardless of price. There are just not a lot of vacant units in the community.
Michael DeCaro of Rhode Island Housing says he understands the difficulty of finding an apartment. Rhode Island Housing is one of several housing authorities in the state. DeCaro says they have increased voucher payments to 120% of fair market rent, the highest allowable amount. But still, demand is too high in many cases, and housing supply is low.
We also issue vouchers to folks that have to turn them in because they can't find a unit.
While some are giving them back, more than 25,000 people are on the waiting list for vouchers.
But right now, the average wait is about 2.5 years on the wait list. A year ago, it was a little over 3 years. So there have been folks moving through the system.
For some,
this is the Lord taking away comfort, man. This is for so-called Negro Latinos. This is for so-called Negro Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. But it's also happening to the heathens, man. Because the Lord don't care about the heathens, man. They just collateral damage and casualties of war, man. But this is after you jakes, man. The Lord said he was going to scatter us throughout the 4 corners of the earth among the heathen and send a sword after us, man. And this is a part of that sword. So check this out. The way home. And we are pilgrims on the earth, man.
Ruth Hancock has a glow you can't help but notice.
I am truly grateful.
Grateful for her bird Crystal, her dog,
This is Tia.
and an apartment they can all call home.
I actually lived up under the bridge in the West End area.
That was 5 years ago, before moving into Capitol View. It's an apartment complex that accepts housing vouchers, a rental assistance program for those in poverty. For Ruth, that means she only pays 30% of her income on rent. The government picks up the rest, but not everyone gets that chance.
It's just like a waste of time.
We met Yvonne Sims and Vincent Dillard at Athens city-sanctioned encampment. You could technically be in an apartment right now if you could find one that would accept the voucher.
Yes.
Both have been approved for the rental assistance program, but neither can find a landlord that will accept it.
I had my voucher since December.
Yvonne was approved more than a year ago. Both say they were given outdated lists of potential properties to try. It is up to them to make call after call and pay application fees that get them nowhere.
What's the use of a voucher and I can't do anything with it?
Nikita Blanc is getting her master's in sociology at Georgia State University. As part of the program, she spent a year working at the Marietta Housing Authority.
I've been, I've seen the desperation in a lot of people's faces when they can't find a place.
Moved by her.
And you know what's crazy? The scripture talks about not getting plaited hair, man. Okay? Braided or plaited hair. So even in this, man, our women are going off. Off, man. The Lord is very detailed, man, but at the same time, simple. Just want to make mention of that.
Her experience, she is working with other students to figure out why landlords are locking out tenants on Section 8.
We just want to know, did you not get paid on time? Was the relationship with the tenant bad?
The federal government...
No, it's the Lord, man. You see? Hold on. See? You see it? What you see on the screen? Judite. Judah could be Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Could be Northern Kingdom. But these are Israelite women, man. Hey. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, man. See, they think this is a game, man. They think it's a game. This is serious, man. And it's going to happen to all of us, man, men and women. And we already pilgrims because this is not our place. Let's read this. In Jeremiah 50, in verse 6, it reads, My people has been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains, which is the different governments, the different countries we living in, South Central, North America, and the islands of the world. They have gone from mountain to hill, from one place to another. They have forgotten their resting place. Jake is running around all over looking for rest, and ain't no rest, man. Why? This is our rest. It's not here in Babylon the Great, man. This is not our domicile, man. We wait on Yahweh Shema Shah to clean up our domicile, which is the land of Israel. Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. You see, this place polluted, man. This place is polluted. This is not our resting place. The Lord sent us here for a judgment, a punishment, and to be corrected. But only the hopeful elect will be corrected. 2/3 will not be corrected, as I did in the lesson last week. 2/3 of our people cannot and will not be rehabilitated, man. They have been institutionalized. As the head brother Kemp always say, the world is you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians prison. But North America, Babylon the Great, is maximum security, man. And Jake just want their perks in prison, man. You give Jake some better perks. They good in jail, man. Jake get to order they chips and tuna and deodorant, right? The little thing they can get in captivity. They little perks and they good with that, man. No, we want to go home, man. We're trying to get home, man.
Looking out tenants on Section 8.
We just want to know, did you not get paid on time? Was the relationship with the tenant bad?
The federal government limits how much it will pay in rent. Landlords are subject to housing authority inspections and must be willing to take rent payments from two sources, the tenant and the government. In a hot rental market, they could all be reasons.
Sometimes it's like an unspoken thing. We're not going to tell you we don't accept it, but we want you to make 3 times the rent. And your credit score needs to be XYZ.
All barriers landlords know someone using a voucher can't achieve. In Cobb County, the Housing Authority says in the past 2 years, the number of landlords actively participating in their program has dropped 20%. And according to our open records request, housing authorities across the state report less than half of the families who get vouchers use them.
What would you say is at stake if we don't figure this out?
You're going to see a huge increase in homelessness, women, children, the elderly, our most vulnerable, shout out to Kraft, our most vulnerable populations will be suffering.
Ruth?
This is Matthew 8:20. And Yahushua said unto him, the foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have not where to lay his head. None of us do, man. This is not our rest. This is not our rest, man. You can't have your mind set on building on a foundation that's being deteriorated, man. On an infrastructure that's crumbling, man. It said in Isaiah 14. And the Lord is shaking up you Jakes out there, man, by taking away your comfort. This is Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 8. It reads, by faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, and the heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker is God. Through faith also Sarah had received strength to conceive, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. It say, reading the point, these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, as we are today, through the vision, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country, that is, in the heavenly, wherefore power is not ashamed to be called their power. For he had prepared for them a city, and we are waiting patiently for this city. 2 Ezra 16:40 reads, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So here's the Lord building us up for what's about to come, man. That's what's going on. As it said in 1 Corinthians 7, using the word but not abusing it. So the Lord is building us up for what's about to come. Everything that we have right now is going to be taken away, man. All of it. Everything that we have right now, which is our comfort, Yahweh Shema Shai is going to take it away in Jacob's trouble, man. Because this is not our rest. Let's finish this.
Still goes out to the bridge where she once lived, but now it's to pass out food and offer hope.
That's when you are on the street, I believe that we get comfortable. It becomes home.
How is you offering somebody hope and you're not telling them about Yahweh Shema Shai, about repenting and turning back to Yahweh Shema Shai? How can you offer somebody hope, man? What is hope? To these people, hope is something that they can touch, that they can see. That's not hope according to the Bible. Just read that. Tell me some hope. Romans 8:24 reads, "For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it." Hold on. It said hope. Let's go back. What hope?
Food and offer hope.
That's when you are on the street, I believe